kidding me right now? Hey Ryan, how's it going?
Hey, what are you doing? Better be some Evil Dead stuff.
Evil Dead stuff right now? That's what you want to talk about if I'm doing Evil Dead stuff? Well, guess what? Just got off of work and the bosses are on my ass. And I'm a little sick of it, and I'm a little sick and tired of all you want from me is to do Evil Dead stuff. So the answer is no.
Well, you gotta do something, man.
Ryan, I don't have to do shit.
People want more Evil Dead. I want more Evil Dead. So get off your ass and do it. Or have somebody else do it.
Guess what, Ryan? You can take this whole, you gotta do this, and you can shove it right up your ass. But just for you, I will make a phone call, okay? Just for you, just so you get what you want. I'm sure you're gonna be happy with that.
All right, man. You do that. And, by the way, fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you, man.
Love you too, bud.
Never again. Ugly ass book. Hello?
Oh, hey, how's it going, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Hey, I have a question. Are you still able to show off your collection of your Evil Dead stuff and other stuff you built and some Ghostbusters things that you have?
Yeah, I could do it. When do you need it by?
Actually, if you could do that now. I know it's short notice, but yeah, if you just do that, I would just be, it would just make my day.
Well, I'm actually out doing something right now, but yeah, I can make it happen. Just let me get home first.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, just send it over and let's get it going. All right. Thanks, man. Let me let you go.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Oh boy, time to get you home. Let's see how you like it in here, huh? What the hell is that? God, I would give to find out who that guy is, why he wears a bear onesie, why he's always trying to feed me his Oreos, and why he chases me around the woods. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know who, when, where. Let's get this show on the road. What's going on, Evil Dead fans and Brett's Groovy Chainsaw viewers? My name is Payton. Brett is busy doing something today. I'm not exactly sure what's going on over there, but he asked me to cover, and his wish is my command. For those who already know of me, hi, nice to see you again. For those who don't know of me, once again, my name is Payton, aka Sabo Slasher, depending on what platform I'm on. I am a builder, cosplayer, geek, all around, bit of a nerd. The main thing that makes me special, I build stuff out of junk. Which, you know, sure, that may sound a little overkill, but you know, look at this power glove. This is a, you know, obviously an AVED style power glove. It lights up. This is made out of just stuff you can find in your recycling, your garbage. I made it out of like a gardening glove that you can get at a hardware store. Pieces of adhesive foam. These little rivets are little dots of hot glue. This buckle came off like a backpack, nylon webbing. Most of this is cardboard and EVA foam. And yes, it is wearable, and yes, the hand can detach. So you can wear this with a chainsaw. This chainsaw is, I believe this is the second one I've ever built in my entire career of building stuff out of, again, junk. The main body is made out of cardboard, except for this muffler here, which is one of Brett's mufflers. Brett, thank you again for the muffler. It changed this thing for the better. Mostly cardboard. The bar is made of foam core. The chain is from one of those like toy chainsaws you can get at Home Depot, Spirit Halloween, depending on the time of year. The back cuff is made out of a poster tube. The wooden dowel for the handle and for the pull cord is made out of like a paper towel roll, but it's like one of those more sturdier ones. Real hardware, nuts, bolts, screws. This grill piece, just a circle of cardboard with the top layer removed. And there is a handle on the inside. And it's horizontal like how it's supposed to be, depending on which saw you're going for, I guess. And also to mention, mine has a pull cord, which lots of chainsaws don't have. That's my one bit of redemption right there. This is what I do as a hobby. And there's an entire community of people like me out there. And I'm mostly independent, but I'm proud of my work, so you know what? Let's show off some of my stuff. Here we go. Before I get into any of my stuff, here's the power glove being worn. I can't really let this go without it being worn. And, you know, like I said, gardening glove, whole bunch of cardboard, a little bit of, I think it's like foam mesh glued behind the backing with this weird random little piece of hardware I found to replicate the little screwdriver port. And just like the chainsaw grill, the bike chains are the exact same thing. Cardboard with the top layer peeled off, painted with a metallic spray paint. And I use mostly spray paint, acrylic paints on my pieces. So that's really most of this. That's my power glove. And let me tell you something. This power glove makes a pretty handsome pair when paired up with a proper Kandarian dagger. This was not made by me. This was made by my friend Eddie or Edgar. I'm not sure who knows him as what, but he's Eddie. In my friend group, he's Eddie. He's in the Knights of Sumeria and the Ghost Beaters, I believe, so go give him some love. He does really good work. He doesn't post a lot, but some of the shit he does is really good. He made this out of, I believe this was a wood dowel with some craft foam adhered to the outside of it, and this entire handle was sculpted from scratch out of milliput, which in basic terms is basically Brett's Groovy Chainsaws Play-Doh. This is my Evil Dead 2 homemade chainsaw replica. Now, if you are subscribed to my channel, I do have a video on this and this on its own on my channel if you want to go watch it. I posted it like a couple years ago. What's so special about this is the fact that I actually built this using real Homelight chainsaw measurements. So going back to my friend Eddie, he has his own actual Homelight body. One day I messaged him, I was like, would you be so kind to measure every single angle and just part of the chainsaw? And he delivered just through and through, sent me every single inch, centimeter throughout the entire body. Tried to stay as loyal to those measurements as I possibly can. And as far as I'm concerned, this is basically a one-to-one scale homemade replica. And mind you, I did not even have to leave the house once to build this thing. I built it within a few days. Honestly, I think my current record for building a homemade chainsaw was about 2 days. And that's when I made my legendary chainsaw replica from Evil Dead the game. And the chainsaw actually went on as far as catching the attention of the developers of Evil Dead the game, and they ended up reposting it, so that's a little special something that I hold near and dear. Really, it's just your average Evil Dead 2 chainsaw replica. It's got that sort of grayish dead red color. Just kind of like what Brett says with Evil Dead 2 chainsaws. You have to do a really shitty paint job. So it's that sort of crummy red color with this really odd black gunk all over it. And when I made this, Brett's videos were a huge help to me. So there's a lot of really tiny details on this that I would never have picked up on if it wasn't for his videos. So like this sort of like ghost shaped blotch here, that's accurate to the saw. This little blotch right here, all the red highlights around the edge of the cover, that's all proper and loyal to the screen used chainsaw. I even have the single, well technically 3 connector brackets, but I have the single connector bracket on the cuff along with the 2 on the inside of the handle and on the outside of the handle. And yes, I do have the toggle switch on the bottom. I actually custom sculpted this flathead bolt because I did not have one, so I literally took some Sculpey clay, sculpted out a bolt, baked it, painted it, put it on, there we go. I like it, a lot of people seem to like it. It's one of my, it's a good example of what I do as a hobby. Also, a quick honorable mention, this Necronomicon and the one that you just saw in the opening sequence of this video, these are my personal replica books. The one that you just saw in the intro is my, I guess you could call that my AVED stump book. There's no real replica pages in there, it's just kind of like a filler. It's just meant to kind of stand around and look pretty. This one is my Evil Dead 2 complete replica, and this one does have proper weathered pages in it, and they're all in the proper order, it's all the proper artwork. I do have a video on this book posted on my YouTube channel, so feel free to watch that if you feel so inclined. Okay, now we're going to dip into the more Army of Darkness style of my collection. This is my personal, this isn't a screen accurate replica, this was never really meant to be accurate to the movie prop, but this is my personal Army of Darkness gauntlet hand, which, believe it or not, this is actually I believe it was an Arkham Asylum Batman gauntlet glove, like off of Amazon. So there used to be like little bat fins on the side. This hole's still open, I gotta fill that in at some point. The entire thing was this sort of like gunmetal, sort of metallic gray color. But I went in with some silver paint, and between you and me, I know it's kind of sacrilegious to do with flexible pieces like this, but this is just silver spray paint. I sprayed in the cup and painted it on, and it flexes really well. For whatever reason, I have really good luck with that sort of stuff. I made this little custom back plate out of some adhesive foam, some drinking straws, and some, I believe that this was like really small, like loom, like this sort of split loom, but small. This is really crappy split loom. I'm not sure what we're planning on doing with this. Made a little custom extension out of some leather, believe it or not, and all these little rivets are just little pieces of craft foam that I cut out and painted and adhered. With my complete Army of Darkness attire, which I do not have down here, but I will explain a little bit. I'll put a couple photos up here. I made it out of a couple of LL Bean long sleeve blue shirts, some buttons, scrap leather, a blanket from Amazon, and a cheap brooch from Amazon as well. Big shout out and thank you to Paris Michael Voorhees.
You might be asking yourself,
for guiding me with that entire project. It's been a dream project of mine for a long time, and I just never knew how I was going to approach it. He helped me out significantly, so thank you, dude. You really, really gave me a big boost with that project. I give you props. So as you've probably noticed by now, there's these really freaky balding heads sitting behind me on my workbench. I'm going to give them some proper introduction. Along with being involved in the building community, I'm also involved in the, I wouldn't say mask making industry, but mask painting industry. These are some Rob Zombie, Michael Myers masks. I have 3 on my workbench right now. This 2007 one and this Halloween 2 half mask are for a friend of mine that I am repainting and rehairing on a commission. This one right here is my personal mask, which I'm actually in the process of repainting. As you can see, this guy has been personally stripped down. I used a Dremel bit to get this guy all stripped down, ready for paint. As you can see, he's still a little kind of crusty. I still have to do some more cleanup work to him, but it's a slog, but I go on with it. Along with being a painter, hairer, I don't know what you call it, I'm also a mask collector. So let's go check out the mask stand. This is my mask stand. It's kind of like my own little personal collection. Here we have a H1 mask from Trick or Treat Studios that I personally touched up myself. Here we have my personal 2018 Michael Myers mask. This is another Tots that got repainted and rehaired. One of my favorite masks. And here we have my repainted and slightly rehaired Halloween Ends mask, also from Trick or Treat Studios. This was done by my friend Kid Zombie Effects. If you haven't seen their stuff already, look them up, check them out. Really good work. You're sleeping on it. And also, brief honorable mention about this H1. This is the mask that I wore to Flashback Weekend in 2021 in Chicago, and it got to work with the original LTD Ford station wagon from Halloween 1978. I know, that's a lot to take in. I sound like I'm full of shit. I can assure you I'm not. My uncle is the friggin' owner of the car. It was a fun weekend. That's where I got to meet Brett, the man himself, in person for the first time. It was a lot of fun, so special piece. Now we go a level down. We got an H2, H4, mostly stock copy that I styled up myself. A rehaired Tots H2O that I'm super proud of. Looking good, dude. And a fully rehauled H6 mask, which I did completely do myself. I stripped this guy down to the bare latex. I did the white base coat. I did all the gray washes, gray details, and I redid the entire hair. Actually, no, redid's not the proper term. I rehaired this guy. Here we have what I would call my duology of Don Post skull masks. Here we have the traditional Halloween 3 style mask, and then we have the early 2000s skull mask, which I actively grew up with this mask in my household, and rather being scared of it, I absolutely loved it to pieces. And I still have it. It's made of a vinyl. It has not rotted at all. I love it. And over here we have my super stubborn Haggith, I believe it's called, mask. Mainly recognizable as being the witch mask from Halloween 3, along with the skull. And I have my vintage Freddy mask, which is somehow still going strong to this day. I have the glove that goes to it, and just looking at that face, you really can't say much more about it, can you? This is my Friday the 13th Part 8 mask setup. The hood is a Escape Theory Studios hood, I believe, that I slightly repainted to get more of that sort of film loyal paint scheme with this sort of pinkish skull and really pale skin. There is Velcro behind there, and the paint is not really holding up very well, so maybe in the future it will get some extra love. I actually met Kane Hodder wearing this attire while he was wearing his Part 8 attire during a pro photo op. Very proud moment. Lots of fun. Right next to that, we have my, I don't know, this looks weird, but this is my Jason X pre-Uber Jason cowl. This is, believe it or not, I think it was like a realistic Slender Man mask from Party City. I just cut the face out of it. I traced my ears around where the ears would be, so when I wear it, it actually cups around my ears, so it's kind of seamless. Glued some nasty old hair around the back of it, some nasty patches around the head, the nasty sort of gore line that goes around the edge of the hockey mask when I wear it. So going more along with those Friday the 13th items that I just showed off, this is a better example of my collection, mainly of my hockey masks and hoods. Here we have a Part 3 mask that a friend of mine did for me. He does most of my masks. He did that mask, he did this Part 5 graveyard scene. Very beautiful mask, transparent blank, looks great. this part 4 end scene, which has always been my style. I love the end scene. I like the shower scene too, but just something about the end scene that sticks out to me. Here we have the rest of my gang, and you can see Resurrection Michael over there peeking through. Here we have my remake, which is made by Hardcore Studios on Instagram. Fantastic work. I have a video going over this remake hood and my remake attire, I don't know what you call it, review, along with this part 4 hood. This is also Hardcore Studios. And this is my part 6 setup. And for those of you who do not know, part 6 is actually my favorite Friday the 13th movie. I do not care what anybody says. I love it. I always have. Hood is from DSS Studios. Hockey mask was made by my friend who made those 3 in the front. I dig it. And as a slight bonus, here is my pre-Uber hockey mask, which I painted up, I think, about a couple years ago now. I got the blank from Cloverdale Blanks, I believe it's called, on Etsy. The straps I made custom out of some leather, and I riveted them together. I have the proper buckle on the back, which a lot of people do incorrectly. There's supposed to be a belt buckle on the back. And I painted it. I drilled it, dremeled it, kind of carved it out, painted it. That's my pre-Uber. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You know what's up. This is my little Ghostbusters collection, which isn't a whole lot, but to me, it's good enough. It's my pride and joy. Let's get into some of this stuff, huh? So, this pack is a Spirit Halloween pack that I picked up many years ago. I don't remember when it was. I think it might have been 2018, give or take. I'm not entirely sure. It's a heavily modified Spirit Halloween pack with a cyclotron upgrade from Franken Geek, ribbon cable from Etsy, new electronic kit. Speaking of electronic kit, let's kick this thing on, shall we? That's more like it. Light kit from Franken Geek and the recently released Hasbro Plasma Series 1984 wand, which I've been meaning to get for a while. For the longest amount of time, I have had a really old Matty Collector wand on this pack. It was just giving and giving and giving more and more over time, and I needed to upgrade. So this is a very nice upgrade, and I think it plays the part very well. But that's my pack, and I have some extra equipment here as well. I have my Ghost Trap, which is also a Spirit Halloween prop. Has a brand new light kit in it. Custom bar graph, blinking light. That scared the shit out of me. Over here we have my Aztec Death Whistle replica from Ghostbusters Afterlife. This was actually a raw 3D print I bought off of eBay. I repainted it completely. I painted it the exact same way Adam Savage painted them for the movie, because newsflash, he made those props. Very cool. It's even got the little leather thong, because apparently that's what that's called. I always thought of it as being a leather strap. And of course, a Ghostbusters collection can never be complete without a replica flight suit. This is my suit. It is a proper, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, it's up to you. It's a CWU flight suit. As if that couldn't be enough of a tongue twister as is. It's got custom patches. This name tag I got off of Amazon. This logo patch I got off of Etsy. And the entire thing has been weathered by CNA Prop Design, aka Corey Smith, over in Indiana. He specializes in ribbon cables and filter kits, like hose connectors, which I have one of his on mine. Very well made, beautifully made. I got my little shades showing on there, kind of Bankman style setup. But that's my suit. And of course I do have the elbow pads, utility belt gizmo, all that stuff. And to go alongside my suit, this is my red parka jacket, which, like I've said with a lot of my other items, I already have a video on my channel talking about this specific piece. I have done a good few things to this jacket since that video. I repositioned the logo patch. This patch is from GV Patches, recommend 100%. I reinforced some of the stitching along the belt loops, and most notably, I replaced all the hardware with the proper brass color and the proper clips, which I just did not have the proper ones to begin with. But once again, I have a video on this whole thing on my main channel. If you want to go watch it, go check it out. Might do an update video though, because so many things have been changed on this. I even made a belt fob, and it's got a repainted Hasbro PKE on the belt. Here are my utility belts for my Ghostbusters attires. I have the traditional Ghostbusters 1 style and the fan favorite Ghostbusters 2 style. Starting off with the GB1 web belt is from gbfans.com. It's their, I believe, their new offering of the light gray style, which I believe they dye themselves, not 100% sure. Has been lightly weathered by, once again, Corey Smith at CNA Prop Design. Go check them out. The belt gizmos, mainly made out of some cardboard, adhesive foam, printout of the original Sanyo calculator board, custom made holders, which I actually made out of tape measure holsters, just like the original ones were in the movie. These both came from Amazon. These are both the exact same holder, but I had to trim them down a little bit, wrinkle off some rivets, and dye them with black leather dye. So we have the traditional Ghostbusters 1 style. I went with the green board, like how you see in, I believe, every shot of the movie except for the rooftop scenes, which had the brown stunt boards. I got the green board because it looks more technical, and I like it that way. And for Ghostbusters 2, I just have the Ghostbusters 2 style gizmo. The Ghostbusters 1 belts, just use some scrap leather stripping, along with some snap buttons and some miscellaneous hardware I had laying around. And they're fully functional, they do the job really well. The wand holster fob holds my wand really well. And the Ghostbusters 2 fobs, all mainly made out of the nylon webbing, as you see in the movie. God, there's a lot of fobs here. You don't really realize it until you look at it. If you are in the market for a set of fobs and you do not want to spend a lot of money on one of the more higher end replicas, I would be very open to making a set for you. Just message me on whatever social media platform I'm available on. I'd be more than happy to make you a set. And of course, I need to touch on real quick my radio, which is a Spirit Halloween radio. I heavily modified and repainted radio antenna from guess who? Corey Smith at CNA Prop Design. Once again, high quality. But those are my utility belts. Nothing too special here. Got some of my favorite actors. We got Kane, as I had mentioned before about the Part 8 setup. That's me on the right, if you could not tell. And there's Kane, assigned to me. A lot of fun. CJ Graham, my number 1. And Ted White. God rest his soul. Very lucky to have that. And Derek Mears, who is an absolute nut job, but you gotta love him. He's a fantastic guy. Up here we have Emily McLean, I believe her name is. Please forgive me if I got that wrong. And over here we have Bill Moseley, one of my top favorite actors in the horror biz. He is an absolute gem. And I am a bit of an 80s freak, if you couldn't tell, so here's my little elf shrine. Yeah, it's kind of weird combining Friday the 13th and Ghostbusters and all that with Alf, but you gotta love him. Got a personalized autograph from the man himself. Sketch from one of the character designers from the cartoon in the 80s. Some NECA figures, the animated series figure, and the Ultimate figure, which I think is highly underrated. It's a good figure. And then we got Crash Bandicoot, Jess Harnell. And of course, Groovy. Yeah. That was a bit of a trip, but yeah, it's a good taste of my interest and my hobbies. But really, all I gotta say is, if you have a slight urge deep inside, and I'm not talking about your colon, but you know, inside your heart, if you got a little urge to get creative, pursue it by many means. You can be just like me. You can be cobbling all this fantastic stuff together using stuff that you can find in your recycling bin, your garbage bin. If it's a garbage day, that's basically like a free-for-all. It's a smorgasbord of parts and stuff to use for projects. So by many means, don't be afraid to get creative. That's my message to the ones who want to get involved in the building community but aren't sure how. It's all about trial and error. Just pursue your creativeness, your craftiness. You'll do fine. So that's all I got for today. So thank you for watching, and I will probably see you on my main channel at some point because I'm trying to be more active on there. So thank you for watching. Stay groovy.